Okay, and I think we should be back now. Hopefully that didn't split that off into two streams. It should just be split into one. Sorry about that. There was just some weird thing that happened. It may have split into two streams. Anyways, guys, welcome to this live stream. We're going to be working on the map editor today. I just wanted to add a little feature where you can select a location on the map. And yeah, that's pretty much all I want to do. I got most of the back end set up for that already. I pretty much just have to code that part. Maybe a little bit more too. But yeah, I'm just gonna let people on Discord know that it's working. Hey, how's it going, Electrism? Okay, so where do I start with this now? So here, I'll just give a little bit of context. Hey, Raging Rabbit, how's it going? It says right now I only have, okay, now it says 3 viewers. It just said 1 a second ago. Yeah, I got Dark Theme on Eclipse. There's a new plugin that came out in Eclipse that has a much nicer dark theme, I find. I still wish I could get the top bar dark, but that's probably a Windows thing. So yeah, the map editor now has the tools in one bar and the map editor in the other one. It's a little bit like GIMP, if you guys know how that works. Personally, I'm not a big fan of when editors do this, but it's going to make some things a bit easier for the development of this. Mainly because I'll show you guys quickly here. If I create a new map, it wasn't too difficult to split it off into this separate thing. It was actually really easy. But just say I want to add a door here, and then I would select the position. So this is kind of what we were working on last time. What I want to happen is when I click on this for things like position or rectangle, stuff like that, I want it to open up this window back and then change the title to say like select a point, press enter to confirm, and press escape to cancel. And then the editor can click a point or a rectangle or whatever, then hit enter, and then when they come back, the value will be in this text box here. So that's kind of the idea. The plugin is called, I think I can see it here, right? Oh. Yeah, I'll probably find it on the marketplace, although the marketplace is really slow. So before this, you had to use, what was it called? Something moon, like a moon theme. But there's this new thing that's much easier and also has different icons, which are nice. I find they're designed pretty well. It kind of reminds me of IntelliJ, but it's still Eclipse. Because I like Eclipse more than IntelliJ. I think it's this one. Darkest Dark Theme. And yeah, it seems pretty new. I don't know when it came out, but I've never seen it before, and it has a lot of downloads now. So at least it's only become recently popular. Yeah, I just forgot my glass of water. I'm just gonna go get that quick. Hey, yeah, you are pretty early. Pretty much just started streaming. Well, it was maybe like the first 3 minutes that were cut off. But other than that, yeah, pretty much just started. So essentially the way I'm going to do this is this window is going to have different modes. So it's going to have just the default mode, which is not really a mode. It's just map editing. So basically whatever's in here, so you can, you know, draw tiles, stuff like that. And then you'll have the point select mode, the rectangle mode. So the plan for today is to finish adding in at least one mode. Pretty sure I can do that pretty quickly. I want to do the point select one, and then that'll set the way to adding in the other ones, like the rectangle one. And I think there's only going to be those two for now. I don't really see myself selecting something else on the map, unless maybe there's one entity that references another one or something like that. Then there would be like entity select mode in here. But yeah, that would be later on. I won't do that now because, oh, you know why I think the stream might be a little bit glitchy? I have flux on. It's a blue light filter. I'll just completely disable it for now. Here, if I disable it for an hour, it should be okay. Oh boy, all this blue light is hurting my eyes. Jeez, it actually really makes a difference. Okay, I'll stop stalling now. So the world editor will have a world editor mode. So I already created a class for the modes. So most of it's pretty much set up in the back end, like I mentioned. And the default one is world editor mode. You know, I'm going to change the way I design this. I'm not a big fan of it. So right now I'm using these constant modes. I don't really like that though. I'm going to change it. So instead I'm going to use a constructor. This should be pretty quick to change. Yeah, so before, instead of using a constructor, I had this enable method, but I don't like that. Oh my gosh, I need a new mouse. I'll probably go buy one this weekend. Okay, and then this, I'll delete this constructor. I don't know why it's referencing it like that. That's a little weird. Oh yeah, I didn't even realize it's Friday the 13th. I'm sure that is a bit freaky for some people, but I would be afraid, actually, to be afraid of something like that. Like, that would kind of suck to be afraid of superstitious stuff like that. Yeah, I think that's it. That was fast. Oh, okay, no, yeah, there's one other thing I want to do. Put them in a separate package now. Before they have to be in the same package to do that constant constructor thing, because I didn't want people to be able to, well, people, I'm probably the only one who's actually going to work on this, but I didn't want to be able to initialize one of these world editor modes from the outside. I want them to just be constant. It's too bad you can't have enum values that are extending abstract classes. I don't know if you know what I mean. Yeah, so let's add that. Yeah, I just discovered that today actually, that you can use a question mark for generic types. You don't know what the value is going to be. That's kind of cool. I've been using Java for over 4 years now and I still learn new things. It's kind of fun. Yeah, and one more thing too. This world editor mode, I also want to implement input processor. Oh, it doesn't force me. Oh, it must be a new thing. I'm surprised input processor doesn't force me to add all those things in. All right. Okay, so, oh yes, I'm also going to need a render method in here. Okay, this thing requires all the implementations. Here, I'll just make this extend. Put adapter. That's much nicer. Okay, so now there's a render method. The reason I'm adding in a render method is so that the mode can actually render on the map what it wants. The like, just say you select a point. I want it to render something on the map to say that the point is here. I'm probably gonna have to make a sprite for that a little later on. Oh wow, it's already Saturday for you? Oh yeah. No, for some reason I was thinking that the end of the stream would be Saturday for you, but no, yeah. Yeah, I remember that comment. Was it the question mark thing? I think you were saying that it was because it was for the entity types, right? So you're saying that it could be like T extends entity type or entity or something like that? I remember that, but I think I actually had an error with that or something. Anyways, but yeah, it's a good trick. Yeah, Java libgdx. Oh yeah, the tacos last week. I wasn't sure what you were talking about. Cool, cool. What else should I have in here? Reload assets. Nah, don't need that. Render, create. All right, then now it's essentially just a I think I'm going to make a default world editor mode, just as a pass-through. It'll probably save me some time in the long run, so I'll just do that. No, it would be default world editor mode. And this I'm going to change to use the main editor. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of things right now that just kind of don't make much sense. Well, at least they seem like they don't. Ah, see, I can't use a wildcard there. All right. Object. Can I do that? Can I use null? Nah. It would kind of be cool if subclasses could actually inherit imports. I think that would be useful, but only imports that you would like add some sort of property to at the start. Probably be a bit useless, but I'm sure it'd be cool. And then this is just going to get the editor from the map. Editor.getMap. Cool. Okay, and I guess I should initialize this. Or actually, this should just be a constant. Private static final. Ooh, I'm going to try something kind of fun here. Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Here, let's just make that protected so you don't get this thing. Okay, so we don't even need this class. Anonymous classes are kind of fun. I like that. Why libgdx? Because I like Java. If I could go back completely and redo everything from the start, I maybe would have done monogame instead, admittedly. I just like the fact that it supports more platforms. So monogame would have been good for much farther down the line if the game actually gets big. You know, we could support actual consoles too, since monogame works on PlayStation, Xbox, even Nintendo Switch now. So yeah, and people say monogame is a bit slow, but it's not a big deal, honestly, for this kind of game because it's so small. But why libgdx? Basically just because I like Java and I thought it was a pretty good Java library. It's nice and quick to just start making stuff. It's essentially the monogame of Java, but it supports less platforms. libgdx is really inspired off of XNA, which is what monogame is based off of. So they're very, very similar, even in the syntax and everything. Okay, and then this is default mode. Yeah, I like this much better. Okay, so then in here we have to create a method to say, to set the mode, so public. Public void set mode, I guess. Sorry, I just thought of something else right now that might mess up some things. World editor mode. I'm thinking that this should also require, or no, it should have a protected world editor. And then there should be a set in here, public void set. This if world editor dot, or is not equal to null, rather world editor dot, I should have some sort of method in there. Dot reset mode to default. And there's a couple other little things I should do in here. String title. I should take this in here. Title. Oh, I'm starting to realize now that man, there's actually quite a few little changes I'm gonna have to make. It's okay though. Okay, yeah. Yeah, the whole libGDX thing. I actually considered like last holiday season, probably in November around, actually converting all the code to monogame. Because really we'd only have to convert the client. The server we can do with just having in Java because it doesn't matter. But it's a lot of work, especially the UI stuff with all the menus and everything. We're really heavily dependent on a lot of libGDX stuff for that. Other than that, though, it wouldn't be too hard to switch over. There would just be a lot of wasted time. We just kind of want to get the game out now. Says, who knows what the future of libGDX is? Maybe they're going to figure out some sort of way to, you know, ship a JVM with that will work on Nintendo Switch, on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and we'll actually be able to run it. And thank you so much for the congrats on 1,000 subs. Pretty excited about it too. It actually says 1K on YouTube now when I check how many subscribers I have in the little thing. It's kind of cool to see. Thank you guys so much for that. Okay, so what I'm doing here is each editor mode will have a way to tell the window what to put as the title. So I need to actually have access to the title from the world editor to be able to set it. So I'm just going to add that in here real quick. Oh, ooh, that's actually not that hard to do. If I do editor.get, I should probably rename that method though, because it's pretty bad. But set title mode.get. Yes, I have to add that in actually. Alright, we're almost ready to actually start implementing this point selector thing. There's just a bit of this other stuff that I have to do first. Put that in here. Okay, then I actually have to give the titles here. Point select mode. Or maybe I should just write select a point. All right. Let's actually try to just run this now. Whoa, that's bright. And looks like something's not working. This is supposed to be gray in the background. Oh, there you go. Create. Editor.getFrame. Oh, it's a null pointer exception. So it looks like the frame isn't created yet. That's probably an easy fix. I like null pointer exceptions. It's the easiest exception to fix usually. Wow, that caused a lot of issues. Okay, no, the frame itself This needs to go here. Then I need to create a new getter. This should be get world editor window. Nice. So now it says edit map, and there's no way for us to test if it goes on to another one. Hey, it's nice to hear from you, Max. Yeah, don't worry about it, man. Stuff happens. I mean, we're not super disappointed or anything. But yeah, thanks for checking out the development of the game. It's nice to have you as part of the community. Yeah, null pointers are the best, man. They're pretty easy to find. I mean, it's so obvious when you just find it, and then solving it is usually pretty easy too, so the best exception you can have, I would say. Okay, so now we should actually, oh no, there's a couple other little things I need to do. So one thing here. So we need to actually get the game mode to render. Here, I don't need to do this whole batch create thing. Okay, so this will render the game mode stuff. There's a couple of little things you need to do here. No, not in this. Oh, snap. Editor.map.draw. Super.render. Oh, wow. Yeah, man, I'm not angry at all. Don't worry about it. Oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't see your message. I think when it does come out, sorry, I was just getting a call as somebody. I told them I was going to live stream at this time, but they called anyways. For when the game releases, I think it's probably going to be through our website first. And yeah, then probably, I don't know between Android and Steam. See, the thing is Android, I already have a developer account, so I can publish to that. But we still have a lot of work to get the game running properly on Android, so I would say probably at the same time for both. But if you have a PC, we're probably going to be publishing on the website, at least the beta for the Kickstarter. We definitely won't publish that on Steam. It's probably just going to be on holobit.net. Okay, so essentially what's happening is I isolated all the code for the map rendering onto another class. And I think I'm gonna have to undo all of that now, which is absolutely wonderful. World renderer. So I used to have the world editor, it used to be called world renderer, and then now I changed it so that the world renderer actually takes care of the map. And this is actually the application adapter now. Man, I wish before I started making all these changes I undid this, because this is going to be a bit of a long thing to change. Paused. No, I know what I'll do. I'll just, can I do that? And then just pass the map directly in here. Yeah, that works out nice, I think. And then in here, instead of getting the editor map directly, we'll get the map from there. Hey Landon, if you're still watching, not Landon, sorry, Max, if you're still watching, join the community Discord. I'd like to keep in touch a little bit with you. There's a good chance I'll probably need a new artist soon, so it'd be nice to keep in touch a little. I keep getting calls now. Hold on, I'm just gonna text them. I think I'm going to stream for a bit longer. I'm not going to be able to implement this feature before 7:30, but I'm sure that's not bad news. And it's only if you're interested, Max. Okay, so I sent a text to the person, so I shouldn't be distracted as much now. Okay, so yeah, now this thing is doing like that. I'm also gonna have to change something in here quick, because right now the map is being rendered over everything else, so essentially you don't really see anything, which is not very good. And the map should be rendered here. All right. I mean, it's not official yet, but Landon's been saying that he's going to start needing some more help on the art end, especially since we're going to be focusing much more on content in the next few weeks. So we're looking for some new artist, and we also might be looking for another programmer soon too, just so we can really just push things as much as we can now, because we have Gabe, and he's been working on some stuff with like a web editor for items, and But yeah, not so much on the actual game itself. And I'm pretty much the only one actually working on the game right now, programming wise. So we might need another one of those too. But we'll see about that. Okay, hold on, I just need to make sure that this is good here. This should not be clearing. For what, the programmer or the art? Or both too, I mean. Well, I mean, if we're getting an artist, we'll probably go for Max, just because he's already worked on the project. Of course, okay, I shouldn't really be talking about this on the stream, but if we do get new people onto the team, we're going to have to get the opinion of every other team member, at least, and then we'll do a vote on whether we're going to add in a new team member. And so far, there's 2 that we can't actually contact right now, so well, at least we haven't contacted in a little while. So we'll have to let you guys know about that. But yeah, getting new members can take a little bit of time. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna focus on this now. We can probably spend some more time talking about this at the end of the stream, or I don't know, I guess Raging Rabbit, you're probably gonna leave soon, so I don't know, I'm up to talking. Okay, so this looks okay now. One other thing I need to do is I need to add in the map editor to the input multiplexer. I love that name too, it sounds so cool. Input multiplexer. Actually, I'm going to need to remove it from the input multiplexer too. Can't forget to do that. So this will be Python and JavaScript. Sorry, I saw your message. I just didn't really acknowledge it. Those are pretty cool languages. I know some people who are nuts about Python. And I personally really like JavaScript. It seems like everything I program in JavaScript just works. I've never really had a bad streak with JavaScript. It's just, I don't know, the syntax is just so nice and loose, and it's just cool. I don't know. I love prototyping too. That's just the best with JavaScript. Okay, so now it has access to all this stuff. What else do I need in the mode here? Finish mode, that's fine. Render. Yeah, it looks good. Okay, so I should be able to start just actually implementing this now. Yeah, sure. What would be best? Well, I mean, because Raging Rabbit, I know you're also a programmer. So if you would be interested in joining, we'd probably and if Max also joins, we'd probably mainly have you on as a programmer, and maybe art on the side if we need an extra boost on it. It's kind of good to be a jack of all trades in this. Cool, HTML, CSS. I've never actually done Ruby on Rails, but I've heard it's a super hipster language. I'd like to try it though. Ruby on Rails, I'm pretty sure, right? But it's actually it's a web server language, right? Like Python, like PHP. Because I'm familiar with PHP, but I have no idea how Ruby on Rails works. But it's one of those, right? It's oh, nice. AP is for applied, right? I'm not really not really familiar with the schooling in the United States, if that's where you live. But AP generally applies for like sciences, right? Yeah, we might be looking for a new programmer. Oh yeah, when people join this project, it's pretty much assumed that they have something else going on in their life, and it's just a side thing. That's why we need so many people working on the game, because it's hard to continue on. Yeah, well, that's one thing I guess with art too, is you can just work on something fairly quickly and then finish it off. Programming, sometimes you need to do a big project, and it's hard to do it in small increments of time. But yeah, Max and Raging, if you do join, do not worry too much about being busy in your life. Pretty much everyone on the team is. That's why the development seems so slow. It's gonna get faster though. Okay, if I want to get faster, I should actually work on it right now. I'm so distracted. Finish mode. This doesn't need to be there. Yeah, so it should be fairly simple now to actually implement this this thing. So what we're going to need is a render method. And here I guess we should have some sort of thingamabobber. We won't need this. We'll just have object passed in directly. Okay. And then here we're going to override touch up. And essentially if we're going to need to convert this into world coordinates. Where do I do that? Need access to the camera. Here, I'll just give access to the entire world editor. That would be much easier. Oh, we should have access to it. World editor, and then we should have a getter in here for the camera. Sorry, I'm seeing messages popping up in the chat, but I just want to focus on the code a little bit. I'll read them in a couple seconds. If world editor is equal to null, or not equal to null, okay, then how do I actually convert this? Okay, so essentially, this point editor, it's going to, every time a person clicks on the screen, it's going to get the position of the click in world coordinates, and then it's going to set the point object to that world coordinate. Now there's a couple of little cases we need to watch out for. So just say for when the person clicks when they're holding down spacebar, that means that they're just trying to drag the map around so they can scroll through the map. So in that case, we do not want a we don't want the we don't want it to trigger this event, essentially. So if gdx.input.is key press keys.space, okay, so if the space bar is being pressed, we just want to ignore it completely. And if that's all good, then we just essentially need to set object is equal to new point mouse location dot x mouse location dot y. I'm almost done actually adding in this feature. I'll probably be done before 7:30 even, but I'd like to keep the stream going a little bit longer. Also want to have a cancel mode thingamabob here. That's going to be useful. You don't need to set this stuff to null. That was just back when I was doing that other thing. Yeah, I think that's it. We just need to actually add this in. Where is it? Entity definer. Okay, so when the button is clicked, we basically just want the world editor to go into this mode here. So editor dot get world editor dot set mode, new point world editor mode. The map will just be editor dot get map, listener, new Is it missing something? Okay, and then we have the value received and the canceled. Set mode. I don't get what it's complaining about. It's saying the exact same thing. How does that make any sense? Oh, it's probably because I have to import point. If I remove this, it should be okay. Okay, that's fun. You don't need to do anything when it gets canceled. We can just ignore it. If the value gets received, we do JSON 4 dot. Value is equal to JSON dot to JSON object. All right, moment of truth. Does this work? Then after that, I'll check the chat. If it doesn't work, I won't check. I'll still check. Did something crash? I created a new map, so looks like the map's not rendering at all. It's probably just in here. Oh yeah, because you need to begin and stop the batch, of course. There you go. Wait, do I do that in here already? Yes, I do. So it's something else. Oh, because I'm supposed to pass in the map. Editor. Oh yes, I see. Mode.getMap. No. Editor. That's why. Now it should work. There's actually a couple little things I need to do first, I think. No, it might be okay. Okay. Let's just generate the map. Just want to see what that's like. Oh, okay. There might actually be something I need to do quickly first. Okay, so you can see that the mode changed to that. Ah, okay. So it's kind of working. But it opened up another window. If I press enter in here, no, it didn't get updated. Okay, I'm gonna read the messages, then I'll go to the bathroom, then I'll fix this. Okay, advanced placement. That's kind of cool. So it's almost like you don't even have to go to college if you did well and you're an AP. I was actually in an international baccalaureate. Baccalaureate. Yeah, baccalaureate. The languages we use is pretty much just Java, but knowing some Gradle and Git is always useful. We also do some web stuff, so of course HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, but I'll probably be doing most of that anyways. Yeah, I've heard of AP probably in movies and stuff. Like, like it's always the really nerdy kids who are in AP chemistry and all that, whatever. Hey, good night, Raging Rabbit. See ya. Yeah. Yeah, that's another story, I guess. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the washroom, then I'll come back and I'll fix these little bugs and I'll probably end the stream there. Really not that much to fix and it should work pretty well after. So I'll be back in a minute. All right, I'm back. Oh yeah, forgot about that. I think Flux might have turned back on actually. Yeah, I'll turn it off. Ah, my eyes. No, it's actually not that bad. I think it just turned on. Thank you, thank you. Okay, yeah, so what were those bugs that I was having again? Oh yeah, the main thing is that I need this thing to stop pressing when there's yeah, so what was happening was when you would click on it, it would also trigger the touch event here, which would open up another entity dialog because it's still the same window. And I think it would be as easy as doing gdx.input.set input processor mode, and then when we reset, do gdx.input.set input processor input multiplexer. Alright, there's probably another bug on top of that afterwards, but we'll deal with one at a time. Oh yes, there's one other thing I just remembered too. Well, let's just test it out. Okay, so if we hit enter, this isn't actually set to anything, which makes sense actually. So the value could be set, but it doesn't mean that this is set. So of course I just forgot to do that. I explain a lot of these things and I'm just kind of saying stuff that's going on in my head, but I don't really know if you guys actually get what I'm saying because there's probably a lot of context that's missing. I'll probably from now on just talk to you guys like casually, and I'll explain some stuff that I'm doing if you guys ask, because it's probably just a bit annoying for you guys. Where is that thing? Here it is. No, it just feels a little awkward just not talking at all. Yeah, that's a crickets chirping. Okay, so hopefully that request focus thing will work. Now this is going to require one of those. Or no, we're going to have to JFrame. There's actually another little feature I want to add after. We'll leave that for now. Oh, yeah, one more thing. So right now the windows are set to always display on the top, but I don't want that. I should be okay with this whole focus thing, I think. When this window is created, we should request the focus right away. Hopefully that'll be good. So I'm hoping that requesting the focus will make the window come on the top of all the other windows. Which would make sense, but you never know. Okay, so it did it now. Then if you select a point, we press enter. Hey, the point's here. Whether this is actually a good point, I have no idea. Also, there's insane decimals too. Should probably get rid of that since, well, there's no decimal points. Well, there is for locations, but spawn locations for entities, it shouldn't be decimals. Okay, so if you click here, yeah. That looks pretty accurate, actually. Cool. Okay, so let's get rid of those decimal points. I also want to add one more ability to this. Oh, and I also want to be able to render where the current point is. That's just a couple little fixes to do. I completely forgot what I want to do now. Oh yeah, the decimal points. Guess we're going to need that. This we can just convert to an int. That should be good enough. I want to add in a secondary constructor here. I want to add in the ability to have a default object set. So that would be useful for sure. So object is equal to default object. So essentially what this will do is in the entity definer here we can actually pass back the whatchamacallit, the point. Jeez. It's so hard for me to remember simple little details like that when I'm streaming. Because I know what it is in my head, I'm just not saying it. Hey, a wild turkey appears. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. What's up, wild turkey? Sorry, I might have made you cringe at my Pokemon song. Spook E. Hey, welcome Tyson. Yeah, this keyboard is loud, and actually I'm probably going to upgrade to a mechanical one soon, so it's going to be even louder. So brace your ears, guys. Okay, so a point should be added. Guess I'm just going to display what the points value is. Yeah, they feel good. It's more ergonomic too. Well, not really, but it's better on your fingers. Which I should seriously consider getting, considering how much typing I do every day. Well, maybe not as much on my home computer, but all right, let's try this out. Oh, nice. Null pointer exception, my favorite. Oh, dot parse. Yeah, because it's null. That's not too hard to fix. Like we were discussing before, null pointer exceptions are the best. Never heard the word ergonomic before? Is that the word you're talking about, or something else? Here, Tyson, maybe you know a fix for that if you're still watching. I was discussing it on my last live stream because it's a very annoying problem that I'm having in Java sometimes. Oh, cool, you got a new PC? Did you build it or? Well, I mean, if you didn't build it, you shouldn't really be having that many problems. Tend to drown a lot by sticking your head in puddles of water. So I'm gonna have to change string capsule to an object capsule. Yay, workarounds are the best. Oh, that's cool. I did that a couple summers ago. There was this guy who had a really old PC case and some older parts that he wanted to keep. So there were a couple parts that we kept, but we built a brand new PC in it. I forget the term for that. There's a term for having like a really good PC inside an old case. We talked about it quite a bit the past few months on Linus Tech Tips. It's kind of a cool concept. Actually, the case the guy had, it seemed like a pretty classic case though. Ooh, it's not Energy Star. It's gonna bring up your electricity bill. I'm just kidding. Oh, yeah, of course. New. Yeah, integrated graphics aren't the best. Although the processor I'm running right now, which is actually just an i3 6100, it has pretty good integrated graphics. I could run like Civilization, Rocket League, pretty much any indie game. Nothing much more than that, but I mean, considering I could run those games at pretty good settings for 60 FPS too, that's not that bad. Okay, so I added that thing in. Now I'm just going to make a simple little sprite. Here, pixel edit. Make a little sprite to indicate where the current point is at. This live stream's actually gone on for much longer than I planned. Probably gonna have to go soon because I'm supposed to call somebody. 29. There should be good enough. So just a little icon to place. Oh, nice. Energy Star, you mean like that branding? Like I think I have that on my monitor. Like it's energy efficient, right? That's why I made that joke about energy efficiency, but if that's not what you meant, then that made no sense. Yeah, it does look like a balloon. It's kind of meant to mimic those. Yeah, the blue star. I can see one right now on my monitor. Yeah, it's meant to mimic like a GPS location thing. Maybe it's not obvious enough. Maybe I should make it bounce up and down or something like that. Probably do that pretty easily. Okay. Maybe bouncing up and down is not the best idea. I have to make something to make it stand out. Okay, where do I save this? No. Yeah, Archipelo editor. I think the way I have it set up, I need to save in here. Now that I have so much more knowledge in Gradle, I should redo some of this stuff here. Huh. Don't worry, Toy Story music's the best. Is it the You Got a Friend in Me song that you have in your head? In Beam, yeah. Alright, getting pretty close to being done with this now. At least I think. Next thing you know, I'm gonna get a groundbreaking bug. Nah, I don't think so. Alright, let's try this out. Here, let's generate a map for this. Just want to see what it's like with a map. Alright, add in this entity. Oh, there you go. Oh, now there's one problem is I want to be able to scroll and move the map around and all that stuff. So my other solution before for preventing the map editor from triggering stuff, I'll have to fix that. Yeah, that's the song you got in your head. I don't actually know that many words of the song. You're pretty good. I should probably learn it because I love Toy Story, so. You mean for Eclipse? Yeah, it helps. Probably search up the lyrics online. Hey, thanks, Cold Turkey. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. I think the channel's pretty much growing at, like, it grows 2 times every 6 months. So I can pretty much expect that in 6 months we'll be at 2K subs. Although there's a bit of acceleration too, so probably be at even more than 2K subs by then, I would think. Depends on how many videos we have. But the Kickstarter is getting pretty close. Almost only 7 months away. I mean, that's if we stick with that final date, but. And hey, welcome, Landon. Oh, hey, Landon, I just saw your message on the thing. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. We'll have to talk about it because I don't really know how that works, but yeah, for sure. Okay, so you can see the icon there, so that's good. And if you move around and stuff, and you hit enter, you see it there, so now it's been rounded down, so there's no decimal points. And if you go back into it, it should have been here, but it's not. So it's supposed to do that. Yeah, so I'll have to look into that, of course. But oh yeah, okay, I think I know why. This is the capsule. So this also needs to go in here. There you go. That should solve that problem. And of course there is another problem going on in here. So basically we have to disable the tool if, yeah, okay, so input multiplexer dot remove processor mode. Okay, so if the mode is not default, then we need to so the mode needs to be default, and mode is equal to default mode. So essentially just have to add that check to everything, and mode is equal to default. Here too. Same for the render. And I think that's it. So let's try this out. This should be pretty good. Let's generate a little map. Seems like the map generates a lot of water now. Might need to make some changes, but might be okay too. All right. Okay, that's good. Okay, so it can select a thing. Okay, the scrolling is still not working for some reason. I don't know why that is. Whatever, I'll just select a thing. Okay, there you go, and it appears back in there, so that's good. That's what we wanted. What I also want to do is when it appears back in there, I want the camera to go focus on it. So I can do that pretty easily. Oh yes, someone told me about that. So you stream to one thing and then it sends it to two others? Yeah, we can do that. And I think Twitch also DVRs too, which is good. Yeah, so I guess maybe for the next stream I'll try to set that up so we'll be streaming to Twitch and YouTube at the same time. One thing I like with Twitch streaming is that people can find the game development category and then just go on there. So there's probably people who are looking for game development streams to watch. Of course I'll have to monitor two chats at once now, but that's alright. Okay, so it's possible to drag, but why can't I scroll? That I don't get. Can I scroll at all? That's what I want to know too. Yeah, scrolling normally should work. Okay, that's good to know too. Because yeah, usually Twitch chats are pretty pretty bad, especially with spam. People just sending in like 50 emojis at once. It's pretty bad. No, I mean YouTube hasn't been bad either right now. We're still a small channel, so we don't have to monitor too much. It's more just paying attention to the chat and responding to people. And also some people like, say somebody asks a question on Twitch and I answer it, people on YouTube would be like, what? That comment wasn't there. So we'd have to kind of advertise it as being on both. Okay, why can't I scroll? Let's check that out. I can move around though, that's what I don't get. Oh, because this returns true. It should not return true. Well, I removed it and then I did, because I think if one of them handles it, then it stops it. So I don't want that. Yep. That's probably not it actually. Here, let's just test it. Yeah, that wasn't it. Huh. Hey, see ya. That's kind of neat. I guess streaming is really important nowadays, and basically anything online. Wow, this live stream has been going on for an hour longer than I thought. I can just keep going. Ah, I see why that is. For some reason, the entity select tool, it's not allowing for scrolling. Why would it do that? But he can't scroll at all after that. Oh no, never mind. Okay, no, you can scroll. Yeah. Well, that's it. I guess not all of them would join. Yeah, I should probably use more hashtags on Twitter. I don't know if I'd be into having too many more people right now. Pretty much just have this bug to fix and then the other little feature, then I'm gonna go. Probably not much longer. Hoping I'll be done in 15 minutes. I don't want to work on this bug for too long. Scrolling is just not possible at all after that. It's just completely disabled. That's weird. Oh, even the clicking is disabled now. Huh. What? Bitcoin's at 7,300? I remember when it was at like 800 and I thought it was low. I mean, I thought it was high. That's pretty nuts. Thing is that there's so many people, like investors, talking about Bitcoin now, saying like, oh, this is going to be the future now. You even have bankers who are saying it. It's like they're all trying to raise this thing for it just to raise the value. Well, by the time I knew about Bitcoin, it was too expensive for me to invest in it. So, well, I didn't really have that much money, so now it's way too expensive still. But yeah, they're talking about it a lot. It seems like they're just talking about it just to raise the value, but there's not really much use of Bitcoin. You can't really spend it in many places. I was really close to buying Ethereum last year when it was at $14 each, because I was actually interested in developing Ethereum. Yeah, the whole JP Morgan thing. I was actually interested in developing Ethereum contracts, and I wish I bought it. It was right around the time when they got hacked, and I don't know, I just kind of lost interest in it, but I should have bought it. I wonder how much it's worth now. It was last summer in like August around. Okay, it's at like 336 now. Yep. I really wish I bought it at $14. At $14, I would have probably bought like 10 too. I would have like $3,000. Okay, so you actually trade cryptocurrencies. That's cool. I think Bitcoin is cool, and it's definitely the most popular one. But I think Ethereum is really has really mastered it. The whole blockchain technology, I think it's very cool. Yeah, I think I saw it when it was almost 400 a few weeks ago. But the main project lead of Ethereum, he's a very good public speaker, and he's made some good speeches about it. It's very cool if you look into it and you're interested in that kind of stuff. Nice. Yeah, that's the thing. The values are so volatile. You can either lose a lot in a day or get a lot in a day. Thing is too, you don't have to buy a full Bitcoin or Ether. I don't know. Might still be worth it for me to invest in Bitcoin, even if I don't buy a full one. You don't have to, I guess. I've never heard of GNT. Oh, that's why, because I'm setting the input processor here. There you go, that should fix all the bugs. Great. Yep. Able to zoom in now. If I press enter, it goes back here. I press this. Cancel that. Let's go here, generate the map, go back here. Probably make it much bigger and way more obvious. I should probably have to do with the size of the window, not the map. That would work better, I think, because it's really tiny right now. Huh, cloud rendering. That's what I love with these blockchain coins. Especially since so many of them use like use GPUs for hashing and all that. It just makes so much more sense to no, I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, it makes sense to do 3D animation or stuff like that with them because it's all GPUs, right? So you could just use their power to do something that they're naturally good at. Of course, you can use them their raw power for hashing, stuff like that. I don't know, I think it's very cool. The thing is, though, is that it's all about selling computer power, basically. That's what it is right now for Ethereum, and I guess this too. It's just selling small amounts of time of computation on this blockchain, which is very cool, I think. But yeah, I guess it's the future in a way. I think I heard a coin square. Yeah, but I could easily imagine this stuff becoming the new AWS. People will have servers that's completely hosted on there. He gets free power. My gosh. His brother's company must be wondering what he's using all that power for. Cool. Yeah, that's the thing. The value of these things just kind of goes up. I don't think the value of cryptocurrency is going to go down in the long run. I think it's just going to keep going up. Unless something really big happens and it just all crashes. At this point, it's almost like real estate. Okay, this seems to be working right now. But it could go down. There's a definite risk, and if it goes down, it's going to go down hard. That's cool. 100 billion's a lot. Okay, so one thing I want to add too is I want to make it so that the editor window camera goes and zooms in onto a point location when it's set, when there's a default one, that is. So where would I do that? I would need access to the camera somehow. Guess I can do that in here. Set world editor. So then in here, there you go, and I should just be able to move it like that. So do object.x, object.y, 0. Then I need to, of course, check if object is not equal to null. Let's try that, see if that works. Might be good enough, and then I'll probably just end the stream here. Let's generate this map. Okay, so if I set that point there, there you go, and it centers directly on it. Huh. Yeah, China's had a big effect on the Bitcoin value. Remember, it was a few months ago they made it go up a lot too. I don't really know that much about the details, but I remember it went up. Yeah, you definitely should get it on sale. Alright, it's okay anyways. I don't know, GT Gamer is probably easier for me to say. I'm probably going to go too anyways. But yeah, hey, it works. Next I'm going to add in the rectangle selector. And then I'll just have a couple little more things to do for adding in the entity adder. Then after that, I just have a couple little features and we'll be doing the devlog. I'd like to get all this stuff done by the end of this week, but I'll have to see. Cool. All right. Yeah, that's it. I guess I'll see you guys around. And yeah, have a good one.